Hey, this is Steven from the Green Engineers, and welcome to one of my little driving a voice blog, I guess you could say. Today is the 19th, a Saturday, and it's the second day of Maker Faire, San Mateo, 2018. It is 8:30. Show starts at 10, so we're heading out to the event right now in San Mateo, and driving along here. And I thought, what better time to do a blog and do another blog tomorrow talking about some different stuff. And I'm taking it on my phone. Hopefully you guys don't hear so much road noise, but I will be, so this way I could just quickly upload the audio, and you guys will be able to get something different to record, and then I would have to pull it from there and then onto my computer, and I can't just use the USB. I have to pull the SD card out, and I have to pull the battery out to get the SD card, and it's just wasn't really a good way of doing it. So I'm going to do it here on my phone. It's going to go way quicker and be able to basically get right to the point and get it out there. Probably even at Maker Faire, I might just upload it. So today we're going to be talking about, so I guess this is technically a chore chat, which are basically where I do voiceovers as I'm doing chores and stuff. The last one I did not finish because my phone died and I had to pause it, and I was never able to re-record. So basically I do a chore and I talk about a certain subject. In this case, the chore is driving up to Maker Faire, which obviously is a cool thing, but it's what it is. All right, so today we're going to be talking about TheShop, the new TheShop, and what it is, what's going on, what happened in the past, how it's affected the Green Engineers as a company, how it's affected my work, how it's affected my development as far as projects are concerned, and what the next chapter is in TheShop's development and my development with it. So, TheShop is a community workshop where you pay a monthly membership and you get access to machines that would normally cost you quite a bit of initial investment. That way you could get in ground level very quickly, get access to a lot of different manufacturing machines, and get training in it by people, and be also in a community with people that have more knowledge on that machine than you do, so they could give you better experience with that machine, or you could have them do it, or you could pay them to do it, or you could have them help you out, or whatever. Sorry about that, got an email. Where was I? So, you paid a max of $100 for students per month, and you got access to all these machines. Problem is that they were struggling for money so often that the machines were not really in that best of shape. And they were struggling for money because they used to be downtown San Jose in this really pristine location where they had on-site parking. It was all single story, but it was small. It didn't have much storage for makers when they want to store their projects overnight. They didn't really have a place to store it. There was a small closet almost size thing, but the wait times for storage was huge. Was really far and in between. You could wait a year to get access to storage again. So at some point they were forced to move out of that location after being there for 5-6 years or whatever. They were forced to move to a second location because they were going to build a skyscraper on that first location to put condos for downtown. And again, it was really good because of the on-site parking, and also I parked there and I went to school because San Jose State was 2 blocks over. So instead of buying a parking pass, I just parked at TheShop, and so out of the whole semester, I was out maybe $50 for parking and for tech shop. So everything costs $50 just to park there and get access to the machines. Instead of paying $250 just for the parking pass and then $100 a month for tech shop. So it was a pristine deal. I probably would have done it even though I probably even would have used it even though I didn't even ever go to tech shop, let's just say. But I obviously used tech shop. But it was a deal, and I was glad to do it. So they got forced out to build a skyscraper. They went to a second location, which was a rundown old brewery, I believe, or something like that. And it was closed. It was closed down for about a year. It was farther up the street. It was on 3rd Street. It was farther north. So on the northern, it was past the northern tip of the school of San Jose State, my university, and it was quite a bit different. I actually liked it a little bit better, but there were some things that brought it down and caused it to destroy tech shop. Number one is it was twice the size. They couldn't find anything small in the vicinity next to the university because they wanted to attract college students. So it was very large. It was actually twice the size as tech shop. The first floor had all the machines, and the second floor was the lower floor. I guess you could say the basement was all member storage. And I love that because I actually had what's called a maker cage, which is basically like a little office made out of chain link fence downstairs, where I had a rack and everything stored, and I had my own little table, my own little workbench. I had everything down there. It was stored, and then I would pick it up, walk up the stairs, and go machine it or do whatever. So it was really convenient having access to the tools and also storage on location. So what would happen is if I had a break in school, I would ride right over to tech shop and start working. And then when I was done, I would ride back to head home. But it was really hard for people that didn't go to the university because they had to pay for parking, because parking was no longer on site. So you had to pay for parking, and you did get free parking, but free parking was only for 2 hours, which is barely anything. And it was all public parking, so also finding a parking spot was even a problem. And then it cost me a lot more money because now I'm paying $300 for storage, $300 a month, and then I was paying $100 for tech shop. And then because I couldn't really park at tech shop anymore, I had to pay the additional $250 a semester to park at the university and then walk over to tech shop. Also, their ways to load and unload materials were highly dampered. They had one grade level door that you had to take your sheets and stuff and push it on there, but you couldn't be out there too long because then somebody else would come in, try to drop off the material and box you in. So you're supposed to take as little time as possible. So you'd have to come, drop off material, take your car, park it, walk back over and pick up your material and come back and then store it. And then if you didn't have a storage location like I did, you'd have to do that twice. You'd have to come with your car, drop off the material, leave, go park, walk over, machine the material, leave, get your car, come back, park, get your material, and then get back in your car and take off. So it was a big problem that really hurt tech shop because a lot of members didn't even come back because they had this problem with parking. They just completely scrapped tech shop because of the parking problem. It was definitely a better location as far as the storage, but parking is what really killed it. So shortly after, I'm going to say within 8 months, they had a lot of financial problems, and eventually they had to close their doors on November 18th or November 15th, 2017. Right after that happened, they closed all the tech shop locations in the entire United States, and basically it lay dormant there. Some other companies started popping up to try to fill in the vacuum of what tech shop left of these jobs of people teaching and what we call DCs, or dream creators or dream consultant, that would look at your projects and help you with what machines you need to use, and also would teach classes and stuff. They had a big thing about teaching classes and being able to provide jobs for a lot of people. You had people at the front desk, you had the dream creators, you had the instructors. it employed quite a few people. And then even the people that were there working, some of them were making money. Not all, but some of them were making money. So out of that vacuum, there was the first company was called Maker Nexus that popped up. And Maker Nexus was basically a non-profit that was the board was comprised of front desk ex-DCs, basically ex-DCs and instructors from Tech Shop Redwood City. There was a Redwood City in California. There was a tech shop in Redwood City, San Jose, which is the one I went to, and San Francisco. So there was 3 in California. And so it was made up of the board of people from Tech Shop Redwood City that came up with their master plan for making it different than Tech Shop before it, was to basically make it nonprofit, completely transparent, and try to take their members into account. But they had a huge problem, and that problem was basically they didn't have any money. So they didn't have any money out of pocket, and they weren't really going to put any money out of pocket down. So what they asked for is they asked for a large initial investment, almost like a crowdfunding campaign. They asked for a large initial investment from their members to finance the location and also the equipment. So there's that, and also they were unsure of where their location was actually going to be, because they were not going to use any of the previous Tech Shop locations, and there was only going to be one. So basically, where is a place where all 3 tech shops, Redwood City, San Jose, and San Francisco, where would those be, where they're close enough for people to commute all the way down there and be able to use the machines regularly and not lose all their members. So they had some stuff they wanted to do some stuff in Santa Clara, they wanted to do some stuff in Redwood City, all over the place. But one of the main places that they were looking to do business in was Dublin. I think it was Dublin or whatever, because the warehouses were really cheap, and so they could get actually twice, almost 1.5 times the size of the warehouse for machines as they did in San Jose, Redwood City, or San Francisco. It was going to be a major commute for me, and they weren't able to decide, and they were asking for different tiers of monthly payment for different machine access. So if you want a basic machine access, or I think it started at $50 for access to hand tools only, hand tools in a workspace, right? Then it was $100 for basic machine access, and it was $150 a month for complete machine access. So you were going to spend quite a bit of money to be able to use the machines there. And then they wanted the initial investment to set up the shop, because they did not have the money. They wanted the initial investment of $1,000. So not only are you paying $150 a month, an initial investment of $1,000, but the shop's probably not even going to end up where you want it to end up. So that didn't go too great. I don't even know if they're even around anymore, because the next thing happened. What they were banking on was that Tech Shop was never going to come back, because Tech Shop at this point was not bankrupt yet. So they didn't know if they were assuming that Tech Shop was not going to get funding to be able to reopen their locations and basically squash their plans. However, something similar to that happened, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for us, I guess you could say, the makers, is something close to that happened, and something close to that happened that really sped everything up and glossed over, evened out everything, sort of. We'll see how well it goes. Basically, what happened was Tech Shop was attempted to be bought out by a second company, calling themselves Tech Shop 2 LLC. But I guess what happened is TechShop refused to be bought out, or it didn't work, or they were asking for too much money. Of course, TechShop at this point was in massive amounts of debt. That's why they closed their doors, is because they were just going deeper in debt. So they're going to declare bankruptcy pretty much at this point. They just hadn't yet, because they were still holding on hope that they were going to get funding. And the second company tried to buy them out, but they wanted more money for the debt that they had than they were worth. So what happened is this company was just going to start anew. But unlike Maker Nexus, this company had more money, and they weren't asking upfront investments from their members. They were just asking for the monthly investment. So they were able to do, I guess some people would say, the impossible, and they were able to reopen TechShop San Francisco under a new name, because they tried to use the name TechShop, and then TechShop, before they went bankrupt, tried to sue them. So they ended up going with a new name called TheShop.Build. And .build, that's obviously the website, TheShop.Build. So those guys were able to get the location and all the equipment in San Francisco Tech Shop. So now they reopened San Francisco Tech Shop, and they all the machines are now readily available for use, the water jet and all that stuff, and the lasers. And they're now getting more and more equipment every day. Almost every few weeks they get a new set of equipment. They got a new CNC plasma cutter. They got metalworking station for like cutting metal and sheet metal and stuff. It's like a sheet metal entire shop in one machine almost. They got a giant CNC drag knife to cut canvases and stuff for pictures, all different kinds of stuff. So their next plan was Tech Shop San Jose, because San Jose, or TheShop.Build San Jose. TheShop.Build San Jose was or Tech Shop San Jose was, at the time before we moved, was the most profitable tech shop location in the whole entire United States. So we had the most members. We had more members in San Francisco, more members in Mid-Peninsula, almost combined probably. We had more members in both combined. We were raking in the cash, and so the next place that was logical for the Shop.Build to build up was San Jose. The reason why they got San Francisco back up so quickly is they wanted that location, the same exact location as Tech Shop San Francisco was on. For San Jose, they're not really big fans of the location that it was currently at, the second location where they went bankrupt, because that location was way too expensive, and the location was also not correctly zoned, so you could use all the machines that they wanted. So they mentioned it. They released a document saying, "Hey, we have intention of reopening a shop in San Jose, and we're basically about to sign a lease on the location." Fast forward a few months, they're at the location giving a open house, and it's on Kirtner and Zanker, or Cottle and Zanker, whatever it's called. That road there, and so it's kind of more towards the northeast side of downtown, so it's more properly zoned. It's right next to a few metal what's the word for it? Metal suppliers. It's not so congested. It's in AX. Well, the company's still there. They haven't moved out yet, but it's where they used to do all the R&D and manufacturing for a solar panel company for space. I guess they make solar panels for space stations and stuff, for space stations and satellites. And these guys are moving all their stuff to Arizona, I believe, and so they were able to prepare for a lease on the building. The building is 58,000 square feet, and they're subleasing to one other tenant at least up to 25,000 square feet. And that tenant wanted to go into whatever building Tech Shop went into, so I'm going to assume that they wanted to deal with using their machines. That's why they wanted to go in with Tech Shop. So I don't know much about that. I'll have to find out more details. There's crazy on-site parking, almost 300 parking spaces. We have 25,000 square feet, almost 3 grade level doors, almost 3 separate parts of the building, the entire backside. And this building is actually 3 times larger than the second Tech Shop location. So that means it's 6 times larger than the very first Tech Shop location. And that's just the space. I don't know if that's the tenant. That's probably not including the tenant. That's probably the entire building is 3 times the last location. Probably the size of the building that we're getting now is the same size as the last building, but it actually has on-site parking, 3 grade level doors, and everything else. And so he goes into the new GM. He's not really a GM. He's kind of like the manager. They're still looking for a GM for full time, and he's got to split his time between San Francisco and San Jose. He said that the reason why they picked that location is it already had all the ventilation and everything needed for the lasers. Because you need ventilation, you need somewhere to spit out all the smoke for the CO2 lasers. And it had all the grade level doors, all the concrete. It had kind of already had the zones made out for maker storage, machine shop, and just general working areas. It had already those spaces kind of subdivided out. And it already had the parking that they were looking for, and already had the space for the tenant that they were looking for. And the big thing that they had that was really attracted me back, and that's why I'm so anxiously waiting for it, is that they're getting a lot more 2D metalworking machines and 3D metalworking machines, 3 and 4D and 5D metalworking machines. So the only 2D metalworking machines that we had, or 2D machines at all, which are just cutting machines, they just cut all the way through, is a water jet. Now there are a few different machines like that. There's the water jet. There's a few different examples. There's water jet, laser, and plasma are the main ones. And what was really cool that was announced was that he planned on getting a fiber laser, which is a multiple kilowatt laser beam that could cut, that's the correct wavelength to cut right through steel. CO2 is not the correct wavelength to cut through steel. CO2 just bounces off. So, and supposedly that machine will cut through 1/2-inch thick steel. So that would be perfect for my shredder project, to go into mass production with the shredder project, where it cuts efficiently, cuts cheaply. It doesn't heat treat the inside of the cut, so if you have to do any finishing work, you still could do that. You could load a giant sheet on it, and they don't charge you $3 a minute to use it, because it's using about the same amount of energy as a regular plasma cutter. So that was the biggest announcement. Their announcement is they're getting the water jet back. Probably not the same one, probably a better one. And then they're also going to get the same plasma cutter that they have in San Francisco. I'm not too crazy about that plasma cutter. It's a good plasma cutter, CNC plasma cutter, but the problem is it does not have a water table. It's just an air table. And that causes a lot of warpage with smaller sheet material, and also thicker sheet material causes it to heat treat the material when the material is heat treatable, which most of the material that I was using, 1055, is all heat treatable material. Up to 1045 is considered heat treatable material. So when you use the plasma cutter on an air table, you just heat treat the inside of the cuts. So if the cuts were not perfect, you'd have to file them out in order to get them to work, which was totally not what I wanted to do. Another thing that they did for the 3D, 4D, and 5D machines, they bought a Pocket NC machine, which is a 5-axis trunnion machine that just uses like a servo drive as a spindle motor, and it's for working on tiny little projects of 2-inch by 2-inch by 2-inch or so build volume. Has an automatic tool offset measuring machine where it just presses the button, measures the tool offset, all that stuff. Tiny little thing. That's why it's called Pocket NC. Tiny little portable CNC machine. Then they bought a brand new Haas 5-axis machine, which I'm really excited about, because I don't know if you guys know, at this point I work part-time at a machine shop. So we have some really nice tools there, all CNC tools, that I would really like to, after this semester, after the summer, I'm not going to have time this next coming semester to work there anymore, so I'm going to stop working there, but I'll still have a place to machine. So that's pretty exciting, to still have a place to continue my learning. So they picked that up. That's a standard 3-axis machine, 3-axis mill from Haas, and then you have a optional 4th and 5th axis add-on. So a 4th axis is just the 4th axis. The 5th axis is a 4th axis plus a trunnion. So that's gonna be super cool. And also, they said that they bought a CNC lathe with live tooling. So you could be able to have a CNC lathe and be able to turn material down, which I've never worked on a CNC lathe, and at the old tech shop, we only had manual lathes. So this is the first time tech shop's ever had a CNC lathe. And also to have the live tooling to where you could do milling at the same time. So you can do milling and lathe and hole work on the end all at the same time, which is going to be a real lifesaver. Then we have on-site parking, and we have member storage. So the only thing I would be losing in this deal is it's not close to school. I can't just walk over there from school. I have to get in my car. It's too far. I have to get in my car and drive down there. But now that they have these, maybe I'll just get an electric scooter or electric skateboard and then ride my electric skateboard over there. It's another possibility. And now that they have these Bird and Lime or whatever scooters where you just like pay per drive, I might just use that. Pay per drive, drive out there, put it in some spot, and then drive it back. So not too bad of an idea. So really, really sweet setup. So the main reason why I'm bringing this up is I tried to record this before. I was not successful in finishing recording it. But now I saw these guys. These guys are at Tech Shop or at Maker Faire, and so I have the chance to talk to them. I talked to them once. I have 2 more days to talk to them here, Saturday and Sunday, today and tomorrow. And I'm going to ask them way more questions about, specifics, about estimated time. So originally they planned on being open by the 15th of May, but that didn't happen. So I asked him why that didn't happen. The main guy, the manager I was telling you about, he's not the GM, but he's the manager, or he's something, I don't know. He's high up, I know that for sure. Makes a lot of the decisions right now, or makes pretty much all the decisions right now. He said that they're waiting on a signature that they didn't know they needed and now they need. So who knows how real that is, but we'll see. I'm going to talk to him further today to get more specifics. I've already sent them an email asking them about getting my cage back. There's storage in the storage area for my office, so I could store stuff while working on it and also be on site. And I was asking them for pricing. I got an email back saying that they're not completely sure about what the pricing is going to be yet. Fully understandable. So yeah, so that's the state of Tech Shop. It looks like it's going to be better than ever. We had a small sidestep here, a small little trip on it not being open at this point. It's not really inspiring confidence, but we'll see what happens. I've talked to him, and he's adamant about it. He's they're doing a booth here at Maker Faire, which is really something that brings encouragement, I think, or confidence to me that they are working on it and they are trying to do what they said that they wanted to do, and that they are going to go through what they said they are going to go through with what they said they were going to do. So that's what brings me confidence in that. So yeah, so we have basically what they're going to have is they're going to have everything I need. Oh, another thing I forgot is they're going to get, instead of a ShopBot, they're going to get a more industrial machine. Hopefully that machine comes with a tool changer. Then the ShopBot Alpha, which was a 4x8 foot machine. They plan on actually getting two industrial wood routers, wood and plastic routers, that hopefully have tool changers, but he says are more industrial grade than the ShopBot. So that's another option. And with that, and also a more lucrative wood shop, better dust collection, like a real shop with dust collection and air conditioning in a room. The room's all sealed up and make sure that all the dust goes up and away from your face. Table saw, all that stuff. So what that leads to at Tech Shop now is that basically they have every machine that I need to make every project that I currently have planned, which is my CNC, which is my 3D printer, my filament maker, and the shredder. So every machine in there could make those parts with precision. I have storage, I have parking, etc. And pretty much they have everything that they used to have as well at this shop. They're not downgrading anything. They're getting the same, if not more machines, obviously way more machines than Tech Shop 1.0 we call it now. This is Tech Shop 2.0, but it's called TheShop.Build. So super excited about it, excited to talk to him about it. He came by my booth earlier yesterday and was looking at my stuff and saw that I have quite a bit of projects that is built to be made back at the shop, and that it would be a great idea that that I'm really adamant about it. And I mentioned to him that I'm really adamant about knowing exactly the specifics on what's going to happen here at Tech Shop in the immediate future, when it's going to be open and all that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. If not, I do plan on starting to do some small tooling at home. Maybe a CNC plasma cutter, maybe a wood, maybe a laser, and then a wood router. So that way I can make the the 3D printer, the EcoBase, which is the current working project name, the filament maker, which is the Fill-Extruder version, the multi-extruder, and then we have version 2, which I plan on designing over the summer, which is the Fill Factory, which is version number 2, which is a more industrial aesthetic, industrial design for the home, sleeker looking, something that you could have in your living room or in your dining room or whatever, and it not look out of place. So that's what's coming up. Hopefully all centered around Tech Shop coming up. If not, it's going to have to be done out of my house. Anyways, so that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. We're going to do, maybe I'll do one on the way back. I may or may not do that, but definitely one tomorrow, talking about the future of the projects here, because we're coming up on summer. My last final at university is Tuesday, and then we're rolling into senior year, which is senior project, which we'll talk a lot about. I might just do an entire thing talking just about summer, 35 minutes, 40 minutes talking just about summer, and then maybe I'll do another one on the way back home Sunday, talking about the future, which is senior year. I have senior project. Senior project is involving my main projects. So yeah, we're coming up here on Hillsdale and 3 miles, and then we're going to be on site at the location, and we'll start day 2 of Maker Faire. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope to do more of these, hopefully with less background noise than what I have right now in the car. Again, because I'm I am filming on a omnidirectional phone, so it's just going to pick up all the road noise, and this car isn't exactly quiet. This car isn't exactly a quiet car. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe you guys will see some pictures on the website of the show, or maybe a video or something. But anyways, thank you guys for listening, and I will see you guys in the next video, or short chat like this one, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks for listening. Take it easy. Peace.